Welcome back to the Wisdom Vacuum Podcast. We're back and hopefully better than ever. If not, at least hopefully better than last time. We have Jacob and Logan today, just the three major hosts. Jacob, say hi.
Hi.
Okay, Jacob, don't. Oh, hey, Logan, say hi.
Hi.
That's them.
You see how I was very energetic, Jacob?
I was eating a pretzel.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Stop eating pretzels on the podcast.
That's a Dottie's home-style pretzel.
Do it when you know you're not going to have to talk. When I'm doing the intro, you know I'm going to call on you. Don't eat pretzels.
Josh, you can just call on me from now on.
You know what, Logan? Say hi again. We're giving you another hi.
Oh.
Hi. I'm so happy to be here.
Okay, no, never mind. I take it back. No highs for you.
Why do people hate me?
Because you're bad.
Because you're a big meanie.
Did you say, wait, hold on, Josh? Did you just say I'm bad?
Yeah, because you're bad.
Cool.
Last podcast, yes.
Don't worry about it. Last podcast was less than stellar. It's not Stefan's fault. I want to put that out there. It's not Stefan's fault. Stefan was boring, but we were all boring.
Yep. You know whose fault it is?
A little too late to try and make it work out. It was.
I think it's Logan's fault.
I wasn't the host.
Yeah.
Dude, quit munching pretzels.
Hopefully, two things will happen.
No.
One, we will be better than last time, and two, Jacob will stop eating pretzels on the podcast.
Yep. We need to take a vote right now from the three hosts. Raise your hand so everybody can see it if you think Jacob should quit eating pretzels on the podcast. Josh, I'm assuming you raised your hand. Jacob,
I
you're
did not
out.
raise my
you
hand.
can't eat anymore. No, but 2 out of 3.
I actually didn't raise my hand.
Oh.
Raise your toe.
I just wanted to see what would happen.
I'm pretty sure Craig raised his hand too.
No.
Oh, you know what? Craig does get a vote. That's true.
And Craig says you're out.
Yeah. All right, Jacob, you gotta stop eating pretzels on the podcast, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not going to do it, is he?
No, we're gonna hear him munch in about 5 seconds.
What happened with your week, Logan? How you been?
I was a little sick. We're getting over that now. That's about it. I mean, work is work. I don't want to get into work stuff.
Yeah. Jacob?
It was a boring week.
What?
Shut up.
Oh, now I can't drink water on the podcast?
Hey, if I can't say retard on the podcast, you can't drink water on the podcast.
Those
are not the same.
It's
That's not equal.
It is the same thing. It is a way of life.
No, one of those is required for survival. One of those is just a funny little word you like to say.
Yeah, well, also, it's required for survival because guess what? You haven't seen me after it. I've been freaking out lately. Mentally, I'm losing it just a little bit. It's a way of survival for me.
Okay.
Sorry, I took on pretzel.
Did you actually?
I wish I could kick you.
I wish you could too.
I actually do.
Jacob, what happened with your week?
I got a new PC.
You did get a new PC. Did you give Logan the laptop yet?
No, and not give. He's buying it.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the only reason I bought a new one.
Okay.
Yes, he will be buying that soon.
We're going to get Logan a PC, and then he's going to get a laptop, and he's going to get a microphone, so his audio quality will be better, and then eventually we're all going to get webcams, and we might go video.
But, Jacob.
What?
I can just hear you munching on them every time. What's the deal?
Much softer.
Why do we have to do webcams? Why do people need to see us? Josh, do you really think before the podcast what you told me? You want people to see what you're wearing right now?
Absolutely.
I don't think so, dude. Let's just say we're not going to describe what Josh is wearing.
Let's just say it's hot in my trailer.
There's not much to describe. Let's just say
it's warm in here right now, and I have adapted.
Can we just use a black Sharpie and draw a tie on you?
I'm gonna when we do the camera version of the podcast, you're just gonna see a giant black sensor bar on the bottom half of my screen.
Yeah, I don't know how many people would actually just sit there and watch the video.
Apparently a surprising number of people, but the main point of video is then they can look at cute little Logan there and be entertained. When one of us is doing the goofy things that we do because people aren't watching us right now, that'll get caught, and that could be entertaining, and that'll give us more opportunities to make fun of each other. We could do little room reviews of our backgrounds, and I want to move towards doing stuff that includes like screen recordings, and we could start doing tier lists live on the podcast. Just more content that would be nice to have cameras with and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Can we make it to where like the cameras like they were back in like the Zoom phone calls for school cameras, like whenever one person starts talking, the camera goes to them? Because I think it would have been really, really funny if whenever the audio picked up your fart, then it would have just
you just see my face like, I wonder if they notice.
And then just slowly
or every time Jacob crunches one of his stupid pretzels, it snaps to his face for a second.
Yep.
We could see about doing that. We might be able to do something like that. But
Josh,
plans.
Jacob never even answered.
Answered what? About this week? He said he got a PC.
Oh yeah, that was it.
And then I talked about kind of why we're getting PCs and trying to get stuff set up for the podcast a little bit better. And also, so Logan can play more games with the boys.
Yeah, the boys want to play with me.
Yeah,
always.
Josh, Jacob? I can't concentrate.
Ignore
without
crunching.
Ignore
the crunching.
Well, it's like I can hear every single bite.
Well, once you pop, you can't stop.
Jacob? Jacob, Josh?
Is that a slogan?
I think that's a Pringles can, right?
It works for everything, though.
Yeah.
I don't think it works. I think Pringles. The whole point is you pop open a Pringles can. You don't pop open a bag of pretzels.
No, but you can pop it in your mouth.
Make similar noises.
Yeah. No, not at all.
All right.
Josh, tell us about your week. We'll ask you.
How was your week, my week? It was relatively uneventful. My niece had a birthday party today that I left from early because I was supposed to be putting my motorcycle in a bike show today. And then I got there and they had moved the judging time earlier in the day without telling anyone. So then I got there and the show was already over. And one of the guys that was working the show was asking me, I showed up. He was like, what happened? Why weren't you here? I told him I showed up at the time. He's like, yeah, they moved the time forward for some reason. They didn't tell anyone, and it kind of messed everything up. And he said it was a shame because your bike absolutely would have taken like the number one spot for vintage bikes, and I was super bummed out. So I basically skipped my niece's birthday for a bike show that didn't even actually happen.
How dare you?
And
I feel like a bad person. I feel like she probably won't remember, so it's fine.
Yeah, you want to know what else? I can make you feel better. I sometimes forget that I have a niece.
Yeah.
And I've never been to a single one of her birthdays.
Well, how far do you live from her?
2,000 miles away. Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
I don't think Texas is 2,000 miles, but I say it is.
Yeah, I see. I mean, it's actually probably a little bit more.
No.
From where you are?
I don't think so. Here, you can continue what you're saying. Actually, tech guy, look it up. From North Plains, Oregon to Paris, Texas.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I see my niece like at least once a week usually. So pretty close with her. I love her. She's so cute.
Yeah. It's hard whenever they live so far away because it's like, oh, they're cute and they're cuddly and they're cool, but then it takes them like a couple days to get warmed back up to you again. Yeah. So then it's like, I'm only here a week.
2,100 miles.
Is it 2,100? Wow.
I think for you, it's probably a little bit more because it's almost 2,000 from where I am.
Yeah. I always thought it was like 1,500 or something. Oh, and I always just rounded up to 2,000. All right.
Yep. But yeah, I have cousins that moved back to I think it's Tennessee that they moved to, and they were like 6 and 8 when they left. I think that was a couple years ago. So I'm really curious to see. I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll remember me. They might be kind of weird about it, but they're gonna be big. Well, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, if they're a little weird about it, you could be like, "You from Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see." It might be weird because it's your cousin, but
I'm not saying that to my underage cousins. Thank you.
That's pretty weird.
I don't think I'm going to be doing that.
They're underage. I feel bad now.
Remember when I said 10 and 6, and that was just a couple years ago?
Remember when you said cousin?
Yeah, and the cousin part.
Yeah, cousin didn't bother me.
No.
What?
Okay. Let's move on. let's move to questions. Before we move to questions, though, any of the listeners, if you have other stuff you'd like to see us do on the podcast, other ideas, activities, bits you'd like to see us do, I've thought about doing, like I said, tier lists. I've thought about doing a series of would you rathers where we go online, we look for would you rathers, or we do some listener submitted would you rathers. Just some more segments that'd be nice to do. So if you have any of those ideas, be sure to either leave them in the comments on one of the videos. You can send them to us. You can leave them in the Wisdom Vacuum Discord. Just give us some ideas. Tell us what you want to see, and we'll do it.
You can even send us hate mail. If somebody sends me hate mail, if somebody wants to, my tech guy will give my address out. Write me some hate mail. I'll put it up on the wall. Maybe
don't give his address out.
I might give your social security out too.
You don't even know my social security.
I tried to keep it.
I don't even know my social security. No, I know my social security. It was a joke.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's good.
I got it memorized. Yeah.
Okay. Let's move to questions. We'll start with Ryan Lee. What height do you wish to be?
This is stupid. Maybe any taller than I am now.
I wonder who this question was directed towards.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe what height do I wish to be? Not this height. Maybe just a little bit taller.
How tall are you again? 5'2"?
How tall are you?
How tall are you?
How tall am I? 5'6", I believe.
Nah.
Jacob. Jacob.
I might be pushing it a little.
Hold on. I got a tape measure right here.
Well, we're going to trust you now?
Yeah.
You put it up, it says 5'4". You're like, yep, 5'6".
It says right there. 2, guys.
Take off your shoes, son. Don't be cheating.
Hey, listen.
Is it hot? Is it hot in your place too?
Yeah, I got no socks on. Hold on. There's a screw in the wall. I'll take that screw out and use it as a marker. I'm not wearing a hat.
Take your top hat off.
No.
Hunch over just a little bit.
No. Okay, if I do this, we put that.
This is where it would be. No. This right here. What you're doing right now is exactly why we need cameras.
Yeah, because I'm failing at it miserably too.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. Now you understand.
Face against the wall.
Face against.
You got laid on us, son.
Oh no!
That's what I like to hear.
I think.
No thanks. Read the number. No thinking.
66 inches. So it's 5 foot 6 inches. It's a little less than 66 inches, but also this tape measure.
You're not 5'6". Oh, the tape measure. Okay, no, now we're getting off into the weeds here.
No. It said 5'6", but it's like a little less. But I'm not sure if the tape measure is saying I'm taller than I actually am.
I think 5'6" on this tape measure is a little bit longer than on most tape measures.
Dude, I could lay down on the ground right now. You know what? Jacob, I'm coming down.
No more.
Wait, you said 56 inches?
Yeah.
So to find the feet on that, I would divide it by 12, correct?
Yes.
No,
and then it would bring me to...
Not 56 inches.
And then it would be 4'6". You are 4'6".
66 inches. Not 56. 66.
Are you sure? You said 56 inches at first.
No,
wait,
we know I'm not
66. That would bring you to 5'4", wouldn't it?
No.
66 inches is exactly 5'5", Logan.
66 inches is not 5'5".
Okay,
do you guys know how to read a tape measure? 66 inches is 5 foot 6 inches.
I'm getting my calculator out.
5 foot is 60 inches.
You had to think about it for a second, too. Don't pretend you just knew it.
No, because I work with tape measures every day. Hold on.
66 divided by 12 equals 5.5. 5'6". You said 5'5", Jacob. 5.5 means 5'6". 6 is half a foot.
Oh,
0.5.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
You're stupid.
I forgot I'm thinking in 12s instead of 10s.
Yeah. 0.5 is half, which is 6 inches.
I'm thinking of 12s instead of 10s.
All right. We'll allow Logan to believe he's 5'6".
No.
I'd like to be 5'9".
5'9"? Why stop there? Why not just go 5'10"?
Because 5'9" is a good height.
Is it?
For me, it's a very good height.
It's been a long time since I had it like an honest measurement. But the last time I did, I was just a little bit over 5'10", and I think that's fine. I think 5'10" is perfect.
All right, move on. I'm tired of.
I'm exactly 6 foot, and that's the perfect height.
Yeah, that's pretty good. If I wasn't cool with 5'10", 6 foot would be the number. Just right at that. Any higher, and you're starting to get a little bit too much.
Just enough to give you points for the ladies.
Yeah. Stephen Smith asks, "What's a moment that happened at work that made you hold on. I'm going to read this out exactly like he wrote it. What's a moment that happened at work that made you quit?"
That almost
that made you quit. I thought I was being stupid for a second.
No, he was just stuttering.
Yeah. I've never stuttered in text before. That's a new one.
Okay.
Pretty much. I think I talked about it on my podcast before. That the time where the guy was drunk on the job, and he wrecked the scraper and kind of drove it out over the suspending over the river, and then got kicked off the job. And then 2 weeks later, he was back. There was a lot of guys who were kind of thinking about walking off there because it was ridiculous. Logan, do you have anything to weigh in on this one? Maybe.
I don't want to go into detail.
I know
what happened this past week. It's also fairly inappropriate.
You said at the very beginning you were like, I don't want to get into work drama, and it's kind of happening right now. So we won't make you answer.
I could say the funny thing that I'm like looking back at it now, it was funny, but I almost quit my job because of it. There was, can I say the word? It's actual medical term.
You've already said the word. Why are you asking permission?
You're absolutely right. This is America. There was a retarded guy. And whenever I say retarded guy, he was special. He was on the spectrum. And my company hired him for 2 trial days, or at least 1, to come in and work with us. And at the very beginning, I was training this dude. And I'm like, there's just something off. Maybe he's just very meticulous. He's doing really well, but he's slow. And it's just like he's afraid of things. And then things got interesting. And he was stapling something and he stood straight up and he looked at me, and he's a bit taller than me. And I looked him dead in the eyes, and I got my hand on my tape measure to my side, just elbow out. And he looks at me and he goes, "Where can I take off my pants?"
What?
And I said, "Excuse me?" He goes, "I'm hot." He was wearing, it was summer, lace pajama pants, or not lace, fleece pajama pants under his normal work pants. But on top of his normal work pants, he had rain pants on.
What in the world?
And I was like, I'm like, dude, you can go to the bathroom and, take clothes off in there. And he goes, okay. And he walked away and he came back and he goes, much better. And he has a Winnie the Pooh Eeyore shirt on. And I'm like, am I just tripping out?
There's nothing. That's definitely interesting. There's nothing wrong with it. You can work in a Winnie the Pooh shirt.
But then things started clicking and he just disappeared at lunchtime. And I'm like, where'd you go, bud? And he was like, oh, I took a walk. I'm like, where'd you take a walk to? And he goes, I walked all around your buildings looking at everything. And I'm like, oh, okay. There were a couple other things that happened. And then it finally clicked. And I said, this dude is special. And I walked upstairs and I said, you guys gave me a special dude. Nothing wrong with it, but we can't have that in our line of work.
Sounds like he's just a little autistic.
No. There were other things that happened.
Oh, okay.
And
because it mostly sounds like a weird lack of social awareness.
But there were other things I'm trying to remember every detail, but there were other things where it's he wouldn't be able to do the job. He was smart. He was very smart, but it was basically like working with a child.
Yeah.
It's just that wasn't there. And I had nothing against him. I'm like, one of you needs to come down and watch this guy. And so they did. And Tanya, the owner's daughter, she's in her 50s. She's taken over the company. She looked at me and she said, I am so sorry. I am so sorry that happened. And I said, I can't have him working here. Not with me. But can, do something for him. And they paid him for the whole day. And he was super excited. But whenever I'm like, hey, I don't think we're going to have you back. He was like, that's okay. I enjoyed it anyways. And then he started putting all of his layers back on. And then he walked out. But that's the funny part where I'm like, I almost quit my job because they said that they interviewed the guy. And if you would have interviewed him for 5 minutes, you would have realized he doesn't fit the job description. But looking back at it, I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's certain jobs that people who are autistic or high functioning Down syndrome, there's certain jobs they can do, but there's certain ones where you just can't. It's either too dangerous of a job or there's certain things that situations you don't want to put them in. My mother used to be a substitute teacher for kids with autism and Down syndrome. And of course, the kids are going to be a little bit different than adults, just kids being impulsive in general. But there's certain things where they'll just have an episode, and it's not always a crazy, violent episode, but in a especially construction environment where things can go very wrong very quick if you're not all completely about yourself at all times. It's just not a great place to have that.
Right, so, and that's
a risky one.
One of my key things, I'm not hating on anything. I don't want people to take this the wrong way. I'm not saying they're stupid. This guy was very, very smart. But whenever your mom drops you off for work and you talk about your mom nonstop, I can't have somebody that I need to babysit work for me and them hurt themselves.
Yeah.
I need a grown adult that knows what they're doing. And he was afraid of the staple guns and afraid of the saws. And that's where I'm like, oh.
Yeah. You have to be able to do the job too. And you need some relatively self-sufficient, self-reliant, independent.
Yeah. But he was a good dude. Nothing against him.
That's fair. Jacob, you did quit a job. Didn't you?
Yeah, but it was to go to a different job. I didn't quit over a reason.
No, you kind of did. Didn't they give you an ultimatum like you can quit or we can fire you?
Oh yeah,
talking about UPS.
Yeah, that was this terrible job. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'm leaving.
Didn't you said something like people kept messing with something and you were getting blamed for it consistently because you were doing everything right?
Yeah, it's just like I would get like 30 missed packages in my truck like in one day, and that many missed packages don't even come down a chute in one day. So like I don't know if somebody's like just trying to hurry up and get everything in the trucks and like was just throwing a bunch of like a whole bag of, I don't know if somebody threw like a whole bag of packages in my truck and then they all were counted wrong. But yeah.
Well, that's a job that you quit. But working at McDonald's, what moment
where I work
were you
now,
like, I'm done?
One day I had to just walk out that day because I was doing the cash and I said that I needed more ones because I ran out of ones, and they said they didn't have any more.
What?
They didn't have any more ones.
That's not that big of a deal. That's pretty normal. They don't like keeping a lot of cash in the business.
Yeah, but
you have to keep enough to pay the customers their change.
Yeah, they should have ones,
normal.
But it's not super surprising that happened.
Well, what they should do is they say
that's when I pay people in quarters. So if I have somebody where I have to give them $9 back, I give them a $5, and what is it like? 16 quarters.
Oh, that would be terrible.
Yeah, that actually does. That actually does kind of suck.
Yeah, so I just no, you're not going to keep one. You're not going to keep ones in your store. It's not even a lot. You don't even have to keep a lot. Maybe I ask for it like at the max 4 times a day. It's not even a lot of ones.
I mean, I would think that they would at least keep always have a spare 100 in ones somewhere.
Yeah, you would think
that's normal.
You would think they would have like a number that you're always supposed to have inside the store for that purpose, but like it's like whatever they have, and they don't check it every day. So
it was just more of a mismanagement issue.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm just like I'm not gonna sit here and give tons of quarters to people all day. So I just walked out that day.
Well, then you run out of quarters. How many quarters is a place going to keep on hand?
Right,
a lot more than ones.
I mean, whenever I worked at the gas station, I don't know why I still remember this. What we were supposed to have at the end of the night was $142.50 in our till. And it was like $5 in quarters, $5 in dimes, $5 in nickels, pennies. We didn't count pennies. And then you throw 2 quarters in there so you can hit that 50-cent mark. And then you're like, okay, this much in 20s, this much in 10s. But we always had like $30 in ones.
Yeah, that's
because
the most
a lot of people paid in ones too.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that's ridiculous for them not to have a certain count.
Yeah. That's just mismanagement.
Yeah.
Stephen Smith also asks, what is your Roman Empire? That's referring to the you ever seen the thing where it's like men thinking about the Roman Empire, and it's just something you dwell on and think a lot, that's either a past thing or something in history? What's something that you constantly find yourself thinking about that doesn't actually involve you, but you kind of...
Oh, no.
Oh, boy, we got to hear it. Come on.
What?
That I constantly, like for a year, this was all that I thought about. And I do it occasionally. World War II. That's my Roman Empire. I'll watch World War II documentaries. I've listened, books, read about them, interviews, everything like that. The part that sucks is I forget information very quickly, or I'll kind of screw it up. Not on purpose. I just, for some reason, my brain doesn't keep it. So I can rewatch World War II things and not remember what happened in them. But for a while there, I was so invested in like the Nazi scientist. I would go back and watch. I know the Angel of Death.
Very thematic for the Logan here. Very fitting with our previous accusations of the Logan.
No. I just, in school, the thing is like in school you hear, okay, Germany invaded Poland, World War II started off. What you don't know is that the standoff, whenever Germany first invaded Poland, was people who worked for the mailing company in Poland. These soldiers came in and trained the people at the mail place. And then whenever Germany invaded, they held off German troops in a mailroom, just normal citizens. History doesn't teach you that. And it's like these were more in depth trained civilians, but that was the first shot fired of World War II. Was at that mailing room. And I think that's absolutely crazy. So I go into all these small details and everything like that. I think that's my Roman Empire.
My Roman Empire is kind of the Roman Empire. I've always been a big history guy. I've always been very intrigued with Roman, like Greco-Roman history, Norse history, the Norse mythology, even the Greek and Roman mythologies. I've always found them very intriguing. Roman history in general, especially considering a lot of that, if you study, you can start to kind of line up certain events around the Bible and the history of the church too, which is always interesting to do.
I do think that's pretty cool. That's one thing that I would like to do is you were just talking about the correlation between the Roman Empire and the Bible and the church and everything like that. I want to go to places that are named and that there are visible things that happen in the Bible and then go through and see all those and compare them to
I've thought about doing a Mediterranean tour for years.
If you do that years down the road, we can plan a trip. I'll do it with you.
Dude, that would be great. We've got to do that.
Because it's like there's this big rock in the desert that's split in half, and there's signs where water used to flow out of it. Is that the rock that Moses hit twice? And then you have whose well is it? Your dad was talking about it, Jacob, at our last
Jacob's
Bible study. Jacob's well. You go to Jacob's well, and sorry, I didn't even think about that. Go to Jacob's well, and that's still Jacob there.
And then it's mine.
But I just think somewhere where Jesus could have possibly been or was there.
Well, actually,
and everything compares to the Bible.
Wasn't the well that Jacob met his wife at? Wasn't that actually his uncle Laban's well? I don't remember.
I don't know. Now you're confusing me.
Yeah, it's semantics. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we should definitely do that at some point. I've thought about that for years.
There is
Jacob,
a tour thing. Oh, sorry. Just real quick, there's a tour thing where it's like, I can't remember the exact details. I'd have to look it up, but it's a walk in Jesus time or something like that. And these tour guides go on a tour with you and drive you around through the country for a few days, showing you all the different places with the Bible, saying this was here, this was here, this was here, this was called this at one point, and just taking you all around. But I think it's a walk in Bible times or something like that. But,
yeah. I want to, not really super related to the Bible, but I really want to go to Crete and Ithaca as well.
Really?
Yeah. That's part, Crete, Ithaca, and Cyprus, the major Mediterranean islands. A lot of that is more just from growing up watching old like Greco-Roman era movies like Troy and 300 and stuff like that. But what's your Roman Empire, Jacob?
I don't know. I kind of think about a lot of things.
You don't think a lot?
No, I said I do think about a lot of things.
Oh.
Well, pick one.
What's something you think about like pretty frequently?
Well,
maybe more than some
I
other.
had something written down on my phone notes. I don't really remember when I wrote it down, but I must have been pondering because I wrote down, if you play a subpar game of golf, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
What?
That's not in relation. I think you just wanted to throw that in here.
That is not related.
No, because I don't have one thing I think about. I think about.
You don't think about 9/11. You don't think about any historical things
golf.
at all.
Nope.
Not just golf, Josh. Just bad golf jokes.
Yeah.
That make you
It's
think.
not a joke. It's a question.
It's a question. Is your mindset here that a bad game of golf would still be a good thing? Because then that just means you don't play golf.
No, it's a subpar game of golf. So you're under par.
Subpar as in below par or less than good.
Is that where that phrase comes from?
Yeah.
But that means a good thing.
That's true. Why does subpar mean bad?
What? So is that a good thing or a bad thing? What if you subpar good or bad?
I'm more concerned on that's what you think about and that's it.
Yeah.
That's kind of similar to the terms awesome and awful. You would think that if awesome is a good thing, awful is an even better thing, but it goes the opposite way and it's bad now.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got me thinking. Maybe this is my new Roman Empire.
No, it can't be. No.
Weird words.
Roman
Steps ahead.
No. stick with the Roman Empire. Okay, just focus on that because those are important things too.
Yeah.
Thinking of is subpar a good game in golf or not? We don't need to create a whole thing where you just think about that.
You know, I've never played golf.
Oh, we need to play golf with you.
I haven't really either.
Some of my friends here in Oakdale, they got really into golf, and they talked about taking me with them for a while. And
if you play baseball, it's a lot harder to play golf.
I've been to a driving range once, and that was interesting. So I don't know. I'll try it at some point, I imagine. But moving on.
Next question.
Gabriel T.
GT
asks,
phone home.
Shut up. Gabriel T asks, which is your favorite flavor? Minty, spicy, sweet, salty, or sour? So these are like the flavor profiles, I guess.
Can we only pick one?
I guess, yeah. It's very situational.
What's your favorite?
See, that's so hard because sometimes, some days I'm feeling a certain way, and then other days I'm feeling not a certain way.
Overall, I would say salty.
I was going to say salty too. I find myself pretty consistently adding salt to stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true.
Whoever says minty, that's crazy.
Minty was my second thing because I love mint ice cream. I love mint gum. But the problem is there's not enough
over
minty
sour
things.
And sweet.
Yeah, there's just not enough minty things for that to be a favorite. It doesn't make sense.
I can eat a whole can of Altoids in a day, so I can understand minty.
Dude.
Yeah,
I go through Altoids, dude. Jacob,
yeah,
I'm just sitting there. Sunday.
Oh,
you're like, you've had enough. Jacob looked over at me. I can't remember if it was right before services or like during, and I was like trying to get more Altoids out, and he just looked at me and he goes, "That's enough. You don't need any more."
Dude, so I almost always have an Altoid tin either on me or in my truck. And I have found that they are the perfect size where you can have your Altoids in there, and then outside of the paper, you can, like in the back towards the hinge of the Altoid can, you can stack like 5 or 6 pieces of gum in there on their side, and they fit perfectly. And you can keep gum and Altoids in the Altoid tin. Yeah, it's great.
Changer.
Do you do that too?
My favorite. No, that's a game changer. I might
start doing that. Start stacking your gum on its side in the back of the Altoid can. It's great.
For the New Year's meeting, my girlfriend, she's like, I bought you Altoids, the big cans. I got you 2 flavors. And I'm like, oh, cool. Thank you. And what she didn't realize is that every night of the meeting, whenever I had a suit on, that little front pocket on the vest, dude, so amazing. I dumped half a can of Altoids in that little pocket.
Just loose in the pocket?
Yeah, because I could just snag one. And my girlfriend looks at me because it was multiple preachers that day, and I kept seeing her glance at me every time I pulled an Altoid out. And I'm like, this is kind of weird. And then after services, she's like, how many did you have? I was like, oh, surely after this one, he's done. And then he would just reach in and grab 2 more. She's like, every 5 to 10 minutes, you're just 2 more. 2 more.
Yeah,
and she's like,
Logan will give me a Linty Altoid.
Yeah.
But Jacob knows I just dump them in my pocket, like right before services, because I don't like popping open the can, but sometimes I don't have pockets, so I got to pop the can during services. Yeah. But I'll just take 2 Altoids or an Altoid, and I'll just put it on his knee, and then I see him kind of look at it and blow it off, and then he'll eat it. It's just.
Did you hear Altoid? They brought back the old Altoid sours. Do you know what those are?
No, I don't. I like where this is going though.
Altoid used to have a sour hard candy that would come in a round tin, and they were called Altoid sours. And I remember them from my childhood because my dad used to like them. I guess they discontinued them in 2010, but they brought them back under a new name called Retro Sours. So it doesn't carry the Altoid name anymore, but apparently it's the exact same recipe for the Altoid sours, but they just brought them back under another name. So I'm excited to get some of those at some point because, I forgot about them. Little sour hard candies. They got some neat flavors too, like tangerine, mango, raspberry.
I was about to say, you want me to read what all they have? Citrus, mango, tangerine. There was another one. It's just not on this one.
They have like green apple, blue raspberry, watermelon.
Sour blue raspberry. Dude, the watermelon one. And I'm not a huge I don't know. I'm not a huge orange flavored things. Dude, sour cherry.
Dude, it says wild cherry sours. Those have got to be good. Hold on, I found a 6-pack with 6 different flavors on Amazon, but it's $42. I'm still really tempted to get it.
Expensive.
Well, dude, we could. I could order them for.
Oh wait,
July.
These aren't the retro sours. This is a different brand.
Yeah, well, the retro sours do have a variety.
Retro sours is the Altoids,
right?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to look into those again because, I heard those were back and I got kind of excited because I remember them a little bit from my childhood. They stopped making them in 2010. So, but I mean, minty, I like minty. I like sour, but I find myself utilizing and chasing salty the most.
Yep. I like salty.
Yeah.
Salty, sour, and minty for me.
Gabriel T asks, do you have a controversial opinion or hot take about any person from the Bible?
Ooh.
No.
Not really. I don't really get super... I mean, there's David. David was kind of a freak.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wait, what do you mean by that? He was kind of a freak. What was controversial or hot take?
Well, the king be like, bring me 100 foreskins, and he'd be like, nah, I'm gonna get 200.
Yeah, that is true.
That's like who I have this conversation far too often. Who there's a ton of ways to impress the king. I understand the point of it was he was over exceeding the king's requirements by proving that he killed 200 more Philistines. But
200 more foreskins.
if the proving method was collecting their foreskins, I might just be like, you know what? On this one, I think I'm just going to go with the 100. I'll impress him later.
Yeah, let me know whenever you want an ear or something.
Yeah, when you want like some of their like their weapons or maybe a toe. Yeah, but the foreskins, that's dirty work. Imagine walking around a battlefield after everyone's dead and just collecting foreskins.
Or just carrying 200 of them.
And just like a bag of foreskins.
Yeah, that is interesting.
It's just it's just a strange thing.
What defines a hot take? Let me make sure I'm getting this definition correct.
I mean, I think controversial opinion and hot take are somewhat synonymous.
See, I don't have that. I don't have a controversial opinion over somebody in the Bible.
Something you think about someone in the Bible you don't think most people think.
Mine's about the devil. I know God has plans in motion and everything is divine and correct. Why was the devil in the Garden of Eden already? So he was a fallen angel, and well, that's the definition you get from some of the names he was given. But anyways, we know that the devil was cast out with his angels. So angels means messengers of God or things like that. So the devil had his own angels himself, his own followers communicating for him.
They were other fallen angels, from my understanding.
Yeah, but they were now his angels because it says the devil was cast out, him and his angels.
Yeah, I think it's more like the idea of his allies more
his
than
followers.
His followers.
They're followers at that point. So the devil had somehow convinced angels with God in front of them. Was the devil trying to overthrow God? Obviously, he was going against God. But was he trying to take the position of God? Was he trying to discourage God from doing certain things? And he created this following, people to follow him. And then from there, we know that whenever Jesus, who was Jesus talking to? I can't quite remember right now. But Jesus had said, the prince of this world comes back and he has no hold on me. So we know that the devil, this is his territory, right? He rules everything of the world. God's given him the right to do that. But he is the prince of this world, which means he owns everything. It's his territory. God allows him to have it. But what happened before the Garden of Eden? That's where I'm like, what happened? And I can't wait to get to heaven and say, what happened?
There's some stuff you can study. A lot of it's in Revelations. About the war. Revelation. Sorry. About the war, the war of the angels and the falling of Satan and stuff like that. Pretty much any time you're studying angels, it gets really complicated, and a lot of it's you have to interpret it carefully. I haven't done a whole lot of it. I've listened to a fair amount of talk about it, some lessons about it and stuff like that. It's interesting. There's a lot of history about it. In my studies, I've thought about getting into it, but I feel like there's other stuff I need to study first and stuff that my time would be better spent studying.
Who's crunching a lot of stuff? Jacob?
Who do you think's crunching a lot of stuff? Take a guess.
There's a lot of noise coming from you.
He said what?
I just think like the most, because I know there's quite a bit said about the devil. There's quite a bit said about the devil. I just want to know more. Not that I'm just like, devil worshiping anything like that, because a lot of people do that. I just want to know, why was he in the Garden of Eden? What were the plans that were in position? What are the details that we don't know? I don't know. It's very interesting to me.
I get kind of lost in that sometimes too, like mystery hunting within the Bible, searching. searching up really obscure topics because I don't know. There's some thrill about hunting down some obscure scripture and finding some knowledge that you think few people have taken the time to understand. It's very alluring, but I have to pretty frequently remind myself, okay, you could be studying a lot of other stuff that would do you better right now. And I allow myself to get into that sometimes just because it's sort of a treat.
Right. The other thing too is, I don't know why, but for me, it's like I would study topics and I'm like, oh, this is going somewhere. This is going somewhere. This is going somewhere. Same idea that you had where nobody else knows this or few people know this. And then it's just like my brain just takes a left turn and I know nothing about it anymore.
Yeah, you discover you don't know what you're talking about at all, and your theory was completely wrong because this one scripture alone was enough to completely destroy your theory.
Right, and then sometimes it's like, well, nothing destroyed my theory, but why can't I remember it? And then I just maybe think sometimes there are things that we aren't supposed to know, and God has said it that way so that we strive to want to know it.
Yeah. And
we're going to know everything when we get to heaven, or everything will be revealed to us.
That's the answer for a lot of those mysteries that I found is just if it was, and that's what I have to remind myself. If it was important, it would be more clear. It would be easier to find.
Get closer to the mic, Josh.
It might not be necessarily that we're not supposed to know about it, but it's just not important for us to know about it. It's not important for it to be recorded in the Bible.
Right. Or we're not supposed to know about it now. It's no benefit, I think.
Yeah.
Because what good does it do that I want to know what the devil and God had going on before the Garden of Eden? That I don't need to know that. All I need to know is that he was there. This was the fall of man, and this is why we're in the position that we're in now. And that's it.
Those are pretty in-depth studies. It's good to maybe spend some time on once you're a little bit more, I guess, studied in the scriptures or with other people. They make interesting group studies. I've heard of people talking about the kind of stuff at preacher studies.
Get closer to the mic, Josh.
Sorry.
Quit leaning back.
Sorry, new mic. I'm getting used to it.
Can you turn the sensitivity up on it?
I think it's actually almost all the way up. I just don't have a mic arm right now.
Can you actually get closer to it?
It's in a fixed position. But
so Jacob, what's your hot take?
Do you have a thing about a guy
or a woman?
Or a woman?
Not really. But that man that was on the thief that also got crucified with Jesus, he was cutting it close.
Yeah. He had the buzzer beater.
The buzzer beater.
Yeah, fair enough. We have one of my questions. We kind of already answered this to an extent. What is your current dream vacation?
Oh, that's pretty good.
Me and Logan talked about doing a Mediterranean tour. That's a pretty big one.
Name another.
Yeah, a more reasonable one I have is I want to go see Alaska. Alaska would be cool.
It's just because you're albino, Jacob.
I want to go to Zion National Park. That's one I've thought about doing for a while.
What do you want to go, Logan? Mordor? You midget?
I get it because he's short.
He said that with so much anger too.
Yeah, he was like upset at you.
Yeah. I was like making a joke where he just shouts out Alaska, and I'm like, "Well, it's just because you're albino. You think it'd be good there?" Then he's just like, "Where are you going?"
If you can't take the fire, don't get in the kitchen or the heat, whatever it is.
It sounded like you were the one that got kind of a little butthurt there.
I was throwing a little jab at you,
little idiot.
You midget. He said midget with so much hate, dude.
I guess you would be a dwarf.
Go, Mordor, midget.
You'd be a dwarf.
Did he say midget? I didn't hear that part.
Yeah,
I said midget.
He said midget. Hard T at the end too.
Oh man.
No, you'd be considered a dwarf. Got it wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Zion National Park, Jacob, dream vacation.
Maybe California for Memorial Day meeting. Have you thought about that one?
No, Josh,
No,
let the boy
Josh
think.
already said he wouldn't come pick me up from Oregon, so
No, I literally said I would. You shut your dirty mouth.
you're gonna drive up here and come pick me up.
No, from the airport.
Oh,
That's not what he said, Josh.
Well, that's what we talked about. He never presented the idea of me coming to get him in Oregon.
Will you come pick me up in Oregon? I'll pay for fuel.
I mean, if that's the deal, maybe.
Yeah, I'll pay for
Pay for
food.
fuel.
too.
Doesn't sound that bad.
Yeah. Dream vacation.
I pay for fuel.
Get off the fuel topic. Dream vacation.
Dream vacation, Jacob.
That was it. That's the dream vacation.
No.
Okay, whatever. Shut up. Alaska, I guess. I don't know. I don't
Oh
really
my
like
goodness.
vacations.
What?
I'm trying to figure out, like, if we need to start having less jokey conversations on the podcast and more of therapy type conversations, because the question that Jacob had was like, is it a subpar game? What do you think about? And he thinks about that, and it's like, where do you want to go for vacation? He's like, I don't know, Alaska. I don't like vacations.
I think
I'm worried
throughout
about
throughout the podcast, we have just learned that Jacob is a boring person in general.
Yeah.
We had the question about hobbies. He was like, I play video games. We had question. We've had a bunch of different. What's your most expensive hobby? Oh, I got a bunch of comics that my sister gave to me.
Yeah.
I
didn't
those
buy
are
them,
gone
so-
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are gone.
What?
I picked them up.
When did those leave? They were
Yesterday.
there like 2 days ago. Oh, where'd they go?
She
sell 'em?
she go and picked them up, and she's going to sell them. Yep.
Hopefully she gets some money.
Why didn't you think of that, Jacob?
What?
Selling them.
So
They don't. It's not that much money, and it. Oh,
you have to
dealing
have
with
some, to
marketplace
make
that
it,
much is just stupid. So no.
yeah, with the amount of comics he had, it would be a lot
You
of
have
work
to,
to
like-
move that amount unless you're just selling them in bulk to
And-
a shop.
Yeah, you have to sell them in lots if you're going to do it. So usually
then-
you'd have to sell them in lots.
To make a good amount of money, you got to have some good condition, pretty specific comics, I imagine.
Yeah. That's why you just sell them in lots, because
Jacob's boring. Logan, what do you want to do for a vacation?
I think I would like to go ahead, Jacob.
The problem is, it's not that I wouldn't want to go on vacation. It's just that I don't want to make the plans. I really don't care where we go on a vacation. It's the same
All right,
to me.
so you can go on a vacation wherever Logan goes. Logan, what do you want to do for a
Yeah.
vacation?
I got a couple different ones, so just make them quick. Normandy.
Oh boy,
I think that'd be cool. No, I just think it'd be cool.
Normandy
The
would be cool.
Caribbeans.
I want to go see the cliffs of Dover at one point. The White Cliffs.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to do this stupid song. I knew you were going to do it.
Yeah.
Caribbeans, Normandy. I wouldn't mind going to Russia just to see what it's like, because some of the
Hey.
pictures, Russia just looks beautiful. But
Bring home a pet bear and some vodka.
bring home a Kodiak bear, and yeah, that'd be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it. So Jacob, we're either going to Normandy, the Caribbeans, or Russia.
Okay, just tell me when.
Okay, Josh, you're going too.
Sure.
There's a chance that whenever we go to Russia, we're not coming back. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure my parents had their honeymoon in the Caribbean islands.
It looks nice. I just like the look of the blue water. I want to go scuba diving over there.
That would be cool for me just because I've had so little experience with the ocean in general. Just a different, like, more tropical ocean would be really neat too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It
don't
just
mind not having experience with the ocean.
The Caribbeans, it's like, at times there's just like the ocean, or, where it comes into the bay or the canal or channels, whatever you call them. It's like 5 foot of water, crystal clear blue, but there's tropical fish and everything swimming around, and you could just do whatever. You can go spear fishing. Oh, dude, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
And then I bought some seafood.
Yeah, that sounds cool. We should do that. My second question here. If you could see any musical artist or band at any venue, Who and where would it be?
I kind of want to see System of a Down live.
That would be interesting.
I think that would be really cool.
Where do you have a venue in mind, or is that just something you want to do?
I don't think it matters. Does that matter a lot?
I mean, it not necessarily. The main reason I specified venue
outdoors
is
would be
kind
of cool for that.
Yeah, I already have a venue in mind, Red Rock Amphitheater. I've always wanted to see someone at Red Rock Amphitheater. If I had to choose a band or a venue, unfortunately, the bands that I would pick aren't really around to do the same live tours that they have had once upon a time. But I've always thought that Def Leppard and the Scorpions are two of like the most ultimate live band groups. Their music is made to be played in a massive stadium or auditorium. So either Scorpions or Def Leppard at Red Rocks would be great.
Or First Aid Kit. I would like to go see First Aid Kit also.
Are you
Logan?
Like dream that I think will never happen. I want to go to M concert, front row seats with I'm just gonna say Moda Center because a rap concert can't be outside. I mean it can, but it just sounds better enclosed and if they have good acoustics inside and everything. So I don't know, Moda Center, Eminem, front row seats. It's like $1,000. That's why I'm like, I'll never go to a concert front row. But I don't know. I think that'd be cool. Yeah, that's my dream musical event.
If I had one specific show that I can think of that I would have liked to be there for, I recently learned about a Blink 182 concert that happened where it was in 2000, I want to think. So I was just barely born, if born, at that time. But they performed All the Small Things for a music video, and they did it was like part of the music video they were recording at the music event. And it's sick. They must have hired like 30 midgets, and it has a bunch of midgets on trampolines jumping way up in the air. There's midgets hanging from wires. They come riding across the stage on scooters while they're playing the song. That would have been a cool event to be at. That would never happen now, but man, if I was alive and like of the age to attend concerts at that time, dude, I would have been there.
I ran out of pretzels.
Thank goodness.
Why, Josh? I listened to what you said and was not thinking about my pretzels.
Okay.
I don't think you had pretzels, so.
Yeah.
You shut your mouth. Okay, what else we got?
Yeah.
Is there anything that's going to make this funny?
I thought you had something to say.
No, I'm just going to tell him to shut his mouth.
Okay.
Pretty mean.
Adeline, the brain rot woman. Brain rot woman in chief here. She asks, what is the station number for your favorite local radio station?
I don't listen to local radio.
I don't listen to radio. Don't even know them.
Yeah. No.
I don't really listen to radio much anymore, but some of the equipment I run has radios in it, and when I don't have my phone or earbuds, I'll listen to the radio or like the morning shows. 96.7 the Valley's rock station, and then 104.1 is the Hawk. That's the classic rock station. Those are the only two I really listen to. Pretty much it. Very random question from the Brain Rot Woman there. Second Brain Rot Woman question. And then we'll probably...
We've allowed her to have two?
No, I know.
We
got to give her something. If we don't give her something here, she'll start posting stuff in the general, and then we got to deal with that.
We could just delete it.
Asks, do men plan out their weddings as elaborately as women?
as elaborately? No.
Are men allowed to plan out the weddings? Is that a thing that they do?
She's just asking, like, do men fantasize about their weddings and like, oh, I want all the colors to be this and that, and no.
You wanna know how I elaborately plan for a wedding? Cheap. My fantasy for a wedding is going to the JP and
I'm seeing a very, very small stack of money.
Yeah. All we're gonna do is just the expensive for the license. We're gonna throw a little party at the house, whatever. We don't need a big wedding. Just go to the JP. Get it done. Cheap.
But she's not gonna want that. That's the problem.
Yeah, I know.
I've never really.
There are probably a lot of gay weddings that happen that way, but not with women involved.
I was not expecting that. That threw me for a loop so badly.
Yeah. You're not going to get something small with women involved.
Oh, you better be careful, Jacob.
Why?
Just
you're gonna set him.
You're saying all this stuff. You're saying all these things, expecting me not to respond to.
Why? Just because I said gay weddings were small?
You're gonna set him off. Be careful.
Women think emotionally way too much. Like, I think their only dreams and aspirations sometimes, which I know this is false, is just to have this huge wedding and then just be like, okay, that was my wedding, and we just spent $100,000 on a wedding. No, that's not even what the wedding is for. The wedding is to show people, hey, we got married. You know how much a wedding could be?
No, it's
a wedding could be. A wedding. No, because you can get married without the wedding.
Yeah, then a bunch of people you don't see a lot aren't going to be there and stuff.
Yeah, well, if these are people that I haven't seen in years, why wouldn't you know how much it would cost? It would cost however much it is to pay my dad to make coffee. It would cost a Costco cheesecake, and it would cost like $200 in Taco Bell. Boom, done.
Eowyn, that's what
wedding
you have to
plan.
I look forward to your wedding.
Yeah,
it doesn't sound like a bad wedding, does it?
No. but no. This is membrane. Membrane. Okay.
Whoa. Mitochondria?
Dude. Powerhouse of the cell?
What?
What was I saying? I don't.
It works.
Oh yeah, we're thinking. We're thinking with men brain, but women brain.
Who's lagging right now?
You. But yeah, women brain. They want elaborateness.
Well, I think it's just like. I understand why it's their special day. I don't know why it's defined as women's. Like, that's a woman's day. Like, what?
Because you don't care.
Because you don't care enough
to be your day. But we actually do.
No, you don't.
The focus is very much on the woman in that situation. Like,
yeah,
the woman is the one who everyone stands for to walk down the aisle. She has the big fancy dress. It's kind of the princess mindset. It's just one grand thing, and I think a husband is very happy to like kind of honor his wife in that ceremony too. Is part. I
agree, but where's my princess moment?
Yeah, where's my dress?
Yeah, where's my long flowing white dress? Where's my princess moment?
Honestly, I think the man's princess moment is probably the proposal. Because that's one where that's entirely up to you. What happens in your proposal? That's your like white knight, like your special moment is you get to pick how the proposal goes, and it's a more private moment usually, sure. But I think that's Logan, probably the man's moment.
I think Logan's a different kind of white knight.
Can I just handle like? Can we be like sitting at Taco Bell for dinner or something like that, and then just like lean over? You chill with that? Lean over and be like, look at that carrot right there. You want it? And then just be done. It's like my dad didn't even propose to my mom. My mom just started planning the wedding.
All right. So Eowyn, you're gonna get a Taco Bell proposal, and a coffee and cheesecake wedding. I hope you're prepared for this.
It's gonna be like Spider-Man 3, whatever. He's like, how did that get in there? And she's gonna be eating a chalupa. There's a diamond ring.
At the bottom of a Baja Blast.
Breaks her tooth and you're just smiling. Oh, look, how did that get in there?
How did that get in there? I immediately thought of Tobey Maguire.
You just got a ring pop at the bottom of a...
She's choking like, she doesn't even have words.
This is such a special moment for me. This is my princess moment.
This is your princess moment. It's a ring pop at the bottom of a Baja Blast.
I know you're dying right now because you choked on it, but what's your answer?
Yeah. Quick! Before I just need to know.
She's at a loss for words.
At her funeral, I proposed, and she was at such a loss for words. We never got the answer. So if anybody knows what the answer was, please tell me.
Yeah.
Oh, poor thing.
I've not heard much about. I've not thought about my wedding as much. I've been in places thinking, man, if I ever get married, this would be a cool place to get married. But I think men. I think I will say, last time I was back east with Luke, we went to Memphis, and in Memphis there is the Bass Pro Pyramid. And
okay,
we were we were walking through the Bass Pro Pyramid, and that's a wonderful place. They have alligators, they have fish, they have all kinds of stuff there.
That's not a woman's wedding.
I'm just being completely honest. I will marry you there if nobody else wants to. I will do it.
If we're both single by 30, I will marry you there.
We'll go grab the justice of the peace, and we'll walk down there and say, right here, right in front of this.
My story though was we were at the Bass Pro Pyramid, and we noticed that up on there's like a ground floor, a second floor, and then on the third floor up, there's hotel rooms in the Bass Pro. You can actually book a hotel room in the Bass Pro Pyramid, and they overlook the inside of the Bass Pro. And me and Luke were there, and he was like, and he told me, he said, I want to have my honeymoon here. And I told him, well, you got to convince Lindsay, but that doesn't sound half bad.
That would be so cool.
Well, we have to ask him if that's in the works.
I mean, yeah. Luke's getting married now, so Bass Pro Pyramid honeymoon. Yes, no.
Wait, he's actually getting married now?
Yes.
Yeah, he's getting married.
When did that happen?
Like 2 days ago?
I think he announced it 2 days ago, but we were kind of calling it out a couple days before.
Wow.
But,
yeah.
Got back from Africa and he realized, you know what? Somebody needs to do the cooking and cleaning while I'm gone.
Yeah, from what I've heard, she actually kind of she's kind of already whipped him into shape about cleaning and organizing and stuff.
So
what you're saying is he's a pushover.
Well, no, it's more in her eyes. He was kind of a slob, and she had to correct him a bit.
In her words.
In her words. Now, what would Luke say?
He'd probably say, "Looks just fine."
Luke would say it was really nice to have a storage room where I could just chuck things and not worry about it. He had a second room that was kind of just the catch-all for all of his stuff and lots of boxes for things and stuff like that. And it had a bed. So it was kind of supposed to be the guest room, but it was really just a storage room. And when I was there with him, I just ended up sleeping on the couch because the guest room was full, which was fine. I didn't mind sleeping on the couch, but it made me laugh then when later on he told me Lindsay kind of got on to him about letting the guest room be a mess of stuff.
I would have said, fine, you don't like it, you clean it.
Well, yeah, you should train for marriage a little bit more, I think.
What I think is the best way to train for marriage is living on your own. Because for my idea, it's hard to break those habits of living on your own before marriage, because you got to learn to live with somebody else in there. But before you're married, if you live with your parents or if you live with somebody else, you get used to them, the way they want things, the way they have their things and your things. I'm used to the way my things are. I know how to take care of my house by myself. Right. You develop a sense of, I know how to take care of myself. Yeah, I can introduce somebody else into this with their own ideas, their own way of living, and we can merge those two.
Yeah, like
that can go wrong quickly though. Living alone,
having a room for storage.
You can develop the catch-all room if you're not careful living on your own. Like I'm sure, dude. You know what we should do? We should do a house tour at some point on the podcast. Or I guess
I got a gun wall.
Short.
And I was gonna say, I guess in Jacob's case, it's just like a 360 room tour.
I got a gun wall.
It's not much more for Logan.
In the living room.
Yeah. That'd be cool. We should.
I got a washer and dryer.
Let us know in the comments.
You might have the most room, Josh. I think you have the most room.
No, I don't think. I don't know. Well, I've only been in Logan's little living room. I don't know.
Yeah, no, and that's expanded more because I shift things over, and and the bedroom is all like everything's hanging on walls and stuff, so it seems bigger. But what size bed do you have in your bedroom?
Queen.
Oh, yeah, see, that's what I have too. That's because I'm like, if you have a full size, that you got a smaller bedroom, but I have enough room to where I can fit a queen, and so do you. So that's pretty nice.
Yeah, I think the square footage of your apartment and Josh's trailer is pretty similar.
Yeah.
It's just his is long and mine's short with multiple rooms.
Yeah. His is trailer shaped.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments or in the Discord if you want us to do a house tour at some point. That could be interesting.
Yeah.
I got guns in, like, you'll see if we do a house tour, you'll see like in a corner over here, there's a gun leaning against a wall. And then in a corner over here, there's another gun. I'm pretty sure it's a single shot 12 gauge in the bathroom sitting behind the washer.
Maybe don't show everyone on the podcast where you keep all your guns.
Oh no, I'm not going to show them where, but I'm running out of room.
Well, if we're gonna do a house tour, you might kind of have to.
No, I don't have to show them behind the washer.
You said you have a whole gun wall.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
I can take them all off. I can take them all off the wall, and I'm like, "Hey guys, this is the apartment. This is the bedroom of the apartment." You just see hangers on the wall.
Yeah, don't mind all the mounting systems over there.
I don't know what those are for yet.
Is your wall mounting system locking to where they're like secured on the wall?
Oh no.
I've always thought.
Have I not showed you before?
No, I've never seen it.
No, I think he has.
I haven't seen it. I went there one time and we hung out in your main room where you had your recliner, and that was pretty much it for a little while. And then we went and we ran the side by side for a while.
Yeah, it's a lot more. I had an issue moving into the apartment because it's like I didn't want to put more stuff in here, but now that I got more stuff in here, it's become a lot nicer because I hang stuff on walls and stuff now.
Yeah,
I actually
have too much stuff. This trailer came with 2 recliners, and that's at least one too many recliners for me. I need to get rid of one of them, open up some floor space. But yeah, what are we at, Jacob? Are we decent?
We're good to end.
Yeah, we're done.
I think that's a good place to end it, mostly because we are out of questions.
Yep.
So this has been the Wisdom Vacuum podcast. Hopefully this has been more entertaining than the last episode. If not, roast us in the comments, roast us on the Discord, roast us in general, call us mean names.
Send me hate mail.
Send Logan hate mail.
Not me.
But most of all, hit the like buttons. That's it. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Toodles.
Bye.